Eric did participate in some early intervention programs. They were at an off-site location. Not many of them were offered to be done in home. We did have some in-home therapies. Speech particularly was one of the ones that was pretty common and lasted the longest, I think, was the in-home speech therapy. Lots of sign language, things like that, and that was a very good early intervention. And then typically he did go to the preschool. The preschool was at the same site as the elementary school, and that was great. He did well there and moved on to kindergarten quite easily from that point. I think that I learned most about what was necessary for him to be successful by just getting books or just reading. A lot of it came in the fact that, IEPs are so not fun and are very stressful, especially when you're starting out and you're learning the process and who attends and what you need to know and should you have an advocate there and all of those things. One of the first things that I did that I think helped me the most was that I learned the law. And when you learn the law, you see how the law is not being followed in a lot of places. And in Colorado, it was not good. They did not hold to the letter of special education law, and that was frustrating. It was very frustrating. But the IEP process got easier and easier as I went along and as I learned more, and I was not afraid to be his advocate, and I was not afraid to say, no, we're not going to do that, and what about this instead? And I learned how to suggest things that they weren't suggesting, and that was good. Most of the time his teachers were great. The special ed teachers were great. He was integrated in elementary school, middle school, and high school particularly was the best. The peer tutors they have in the schools now at high school level are just tremendous. The kids are so great with them, and they really want that experience to have, as a peer tutor, and that was the most successful, I think, of anything. There were a couple of times when I just finally said, you can stop doing the speech therapy because they were doing it in a group setting at, just at a table, and that did not ever work for Eric. That he was never successful in that kind of situation, and so, I stopped that. So there were some times when it was frustrating because the teachers and the therapists weren't really noticing that and weren't communicating that with me. And that was sad because, I would offer suggestions on how they could do it better and he would respond better, and they weren't interested in that. So that was frustrating. Most of the time he had really great teachers, really great aides. If there was not a good fit, which sometimes there was, I just requested someone else, and they were pretty good most of the time about that and about moving him to someone else that he could connect with a little bit better. And a lot of times the greatest teachers were just the ones that he felt comfortable with, and he has a very strong he's very in tune with people, and he could, he had a really great way of interacting with the teachers that he got along with really well and felt safe and comfortable with.